There, thanks for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. I'm Melinda Pierce, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to put this card together. So I'm going to get right to it. This was a card that I did for my October stamp camp. I do those stamp camps in the mail, so if you're interested in joining in for next month's, you can find out all the information on my Facebook page on Melinda's Rubber Room. So I'm going to start with my main image here, and I'm going to use my regular Stampin' Write markers to color this image in because I want to get this two-toned effect. So I'm just going to start with the Blackberry Bliss marker. I'm using the wide tip of the marker to color this image in. Now, if you did the stamp camp in the mail, I cannot stamp the Stampin' Up! Images according to Stampin' Up's rules. So what I did was I did all of the dry embossing, and I added the coloring on the background, which I'll show you. And then I included some die cuts from designer series paper that you can add in place of this image. But I did want to show you how I did this part of the card. You have to do all of this before you put it through the embossing folder. Otherwise it just won't work. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the, this is Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to go right over the leaves. Again, I'm using the brush tip of the marker. These markers do have two different tips on them. One is the writing tip and one is the brush tip. And you can tell the difference before you even take off the before you take off the lids by this wide stripe. So this wide stripe is the brush tip, and then the thinner stripe is the writing tip. So once you're done coloring all of this in, you're going to want to re-moisten the ink. And the way that you do that is by exhaling on it. So you're going to hold the whole stamped image up to your mouth and just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and exhale right on top of that. Going over some of these spots one more time, make sure it's a nice dark image on there. I'm going to go over one more time with the Blackberry Bliss just real quick. That was a lot of green that I was coloring in, so just want to darken up that Blackberry Bliss a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to exhale on it. And just stamp that right down on the paper. Just like so. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. Put these two sides down. Get my plates. So to emboss, all I need is the number 1 plate and the number 4 plate. And I need my embossing folder. So if you look at your embossing folder, it has the Stampin' Up! Logo here. And that is going to give you the right side of your embossed image. So I'm going to put my paper in with the right side up with that Stampin' Up! Logo. And I'm using this line here to line it up to make sure that my paper is straight. So all of my little bricks will be nice and straight. And you want to make sure that you put your embossing folder in with the folded side, the crease side, towards going into the embossing machine first. Okay, and I'm just going to roll that through. And that gives me my nice embossed image of the little bricks. And now I'm going to go back with my blending brush and crumb cake. Get everything straightened up again. And I'm just going to pat, not too hard, on my brush. And I want to place my 2 fingers right here on the head of the brush just to create some even pressure. I'm going to start off of my paper and go onto my paper. And you always want to start lighter and build up that color. You can always add more color, but once you put it on too thick, there's no way that you can really take it off. So I'm just lightly going over those bricks, building up my color. Might not look too much on the camera, but it is getting on there. You want to try not to rock your brush. If you rock it too much, that creates more streaks. And if you keep it nice and straight and start off of your paper and go on, you get a much better effect. That way any darkness is right on the edges of your paper, and it gets lighter as you go on to the middle. So here you can see it does have some color on there. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is attach my card, front of my card to my card base. I've already attached my Evening Evergreen. That is not Evening Evergreen. I think that's Mellow Moss. Can't remember. I'm just adding my glue, my stamped images, like so. And then I have my little greeting here. I've already cut my piece of white cardstock and my mat. I'm just going to stamp that. Just like so. I'm going to add a little bit of shading to that with my crumb cake. I didn't like the way that it was really a bright white on this background, so I wanted to add a little shading on that. It just made it blend in a little bit nicer. I'm just going to mount those one on top of the other. Just like so. And then I'm just going to place it right there. All right, and then the inside of my card, again, is pretty simple. Making sure this is the right size paper. I'm just going to stamp another little olive branch, which is actually the name of the stamp set. I don't have the case with me right now, but it is called Olive Branch. It's a beautiful set. These are the main images in that set, the ones that I'm using. So the words and the 2 olive branches. And I just love the graceful look of these olive branches. It's kind of nice having the larger stamps, because that way it just kind of does all the speaking for itself right on the front of the card, and you don't have to do a whole lot else to the card. So maybe a stamped image and an embossing folder and you're done. So again, just coloring in my image with my Stampin' Write markers, exhaling on that. And I'm going to, let's see, which way do I want to do that? I think I'm going to do it this way. Just like so. Didn't get that last olive in there, so I'm just going to kind of draw that in. Don't think I pushed hard enough on that stamp. There we go. And I'll just glue this to the inside of my card and I will be done. Oh, I have a little bow to add to the front too. There we go. And then I have the little twine bow here. And I'm just going to use some mini glue dots. I'm going to peel this away. Oh, looks like it was peeled way too far. So I have a mini glue dot right there. Just going to push this right onto that glue dot. Kind of scrunch up the glue dot so it doesn't show too much. And I'm going to put it right up here on that stem. And there is that finished card. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you're interested in my card classes in the mail, check out my Facebook page on Melinda's Rubber Room, and you can get all the latest information there. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a message on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page at Melinda's Rubber Room. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.